Hey everybody, welcome back. We are now going to dig into the income standpoint of how we value apartment buildings and why we love multifamily apartments. This is called value creation or value add. And so let's dig into the numbers here. I'm going to jump over on this side just to give you guys a little bit of detail. So now you can see here we have a 100-unit complex. This is the same multifamily building. Let's use a market like Phoenix, for example. So Phoenix, just like some of these big markets are out there, there's lots of big apartment complexes. Doesn't matter where you are, this math is the same. Numbers might be different, but the math and logic are the same. So let's use an average rent of $900. This is what we're buying the property for. We're just in the marketplace. We find that in-place rents at this complex are $900. Now, whenever we buy, we always do the math. We always want to make sure we're trying to buy assets that have rents below the market. The market might be at, say, $1,000. This is, let's just say, one bedroom unit. It's $1,000 in the market. We're only charging $900. So 900 times 100 units equals $90,000 per month. 90,000 times 12 is $1,080,000. So $1,080,000 is what this property generates per year. Now that's the potential. We actually have vacancy. So physical vacancy, you're never ever really at 100%. We're using 5% as a safe number. So 5% vacancy or 95% occupancy. That gives us an income of $1,026,000. There's other types of income. We're not going to talk about that. Just keeping it really simple. $1,026,000 is our total income. You do have expenses. So things like contract services, managing the pool, utilities, taxes, insurance. Those are all marketing costs. Those are all management costs. Those are all costs that we take on as owners. That is $533,000, or in this case, 52% of this number. So that's a pretty average, 50% or so is what we see. 50% expense ratio is $533,000. That leaves us with $492,000 in profit. That's called net operating income. Now that's not our bottom line profit, and that's not including the mortgage. So the mortgage is below. We don't factor mortgage in when we look at valuations because some properties are bought all cash. Some properties have debt. Some properties have different kinds of debt, different interest rates. So to keep things very simple, you use just plain NOI, which is before debt service. So it's really important to factor that in. Now, how do we value this thing? The value is divided by taking the NOI into the cap rate. And the cap rate can be a simple or complicated number, depends on how you want to look at it. It's a market-based number based on the vintage of the property, the type of asset, all things being equal. You apply a capitalization rate, which in simple terms is if I paid cash for a property, how much would it produce in ROI or net returns? So in Phoenix right now, today, 2023, February, it's about a 5 cap. Newer assets might be a little bit lower. Much older assets or distressed assets might be a little bit higher. It just depends. On average, what we're looking at this type of property, we're going to apply a 5 cap or 5%. So if I took $492,480 and I divide that by my cap rate, I get a value of about $9.84 million. So if I do this math and I look at this property and I go in and I buy it, this is what I'm likely going to pay for it. Now, we don't want to just buy it and just do what we're doing. Our goal is to add value. So what we did is we did some homework and we said, wow, we can really get rents to $1,000. That's $100. Well, we don't want to necessarily go all the way to the market. Let's use $40 or $42 as an increase in rent. So if we increase the rent by $42 times per month times 100 units times 12 months, that's about $50,000. $50,000 in additional income, which that doesn't cost us anymore. We just realized without doing any renovations, we can just increase the rent, just not $42. That goes right to the bottom line and goes right here with no additional cost. So let's do this math. How much does $50,000 add in value in this same complex? So what's nice, take $50,000 divided by 0.05, and you have essentially $1 million we've added. We're at a zero. We got $1 million we've added in value. So 9.8 million, we bought it today, February of 2023. Took us a few to 6 months to get things moving, get things settled. In the next year, we've been able to push rents across the property. All 100 units are paying $40 more, just $40 more. And we've increased the value to almost $10 million using the same cap rate of 5%. Again, lots of different levers. Don't want to get too far into the weeds, but that is called value creation. That's what we do. Cheers.